This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Lovely.
Woohoo! Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. and you are welcome to the Maastricht edition on Facebook Live. I'm your co-host, Tracey, and together with Joe, we'll be bringing you our regular segments and the usual fun and games. But next to that, we'll also be joined by two very special guests tonight, Amruta and Li from Girl Gone International. Stay tuned.
Yay! Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Maastricht edition. Here we are again. And Tracey, we're in December.
It is December. Yes, we have entered the final month of this year already.
It's all a bit nuts. But the good thing is, I mean, I know we're all saying sort of like, oh yeah, it's only a few weeks in December. Well, for many of us who are a bit bar humbug this year because we're just kind of Christmas. I look at it as sort of like, well, we've only got about 3 weeks till we have the shortest day of the year.
True.
And then spring's around the corner. That's how I look at it.
Well, that's being very optimistic, Joe. We have a long way to go till spring. January and February are heavy going. But yes, I mean, it is December. We are 23 days away from Christmas Day. So the end of the year is anon. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different one again, isn't it? I mean, it's the lights are up and everything's all sparkly and jingly. But I feel most people are kind of feeling a little bit gloomy, kind of like the weather.
I think so. I think people are not so sparkly and jingly at the moment, are they? That's the problem. But well, we've got to rally, haven't we? That's the thing.
We do. People, we need you. Joe and I are depressed. Please send us your love and kisses and good vibes. Help us out. I know, but we'll be fine. I rather like December as a time of the year in normal life, shall we say. I mean, I love the run up to Christmas. I love the glue wine, the markets, the tree, the songs, blah, 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 blah. So, let's hope that maybe by next week we've both found our Christmas spirit.
Well,
or at least a glass of something.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
That's where you'll find our Christmas spirit, in a glass for sure.
Ho ho ho, darling. Ho ho ho.
But yes, the songs have started playing on the radio, of course, and any shops that you might be brave enough to venture into. Do you have any favourite Christmas songs, Trace?
Well, I have to tell you, I started playing Christmas songs in November, so I do like a Christmas jingle, and I like a mix of the old classic, the oldies. I like some of the modern ones. I also even like some of the more, if you like, religious kind of Christmas carols and songs.
Right.
I kind of love them all. I mean, there's of course Saint Bublé, who is basically Father Christmas kind of reincarnated, isn't he, a bit? But I also love the old, the Nat King Coles, and I love the darkness, the more rocky numbers.
Yeah.
Slade is always a classic, and Shakin' Stevens. Merry Christmas, everyone. And the list goes on. Don't even get me started on the Pogues and Fairy Tale of New York. We'd be here all night. But no, I do tend to like pretty much most of them. There are a couple of songs that come out that I think, well, this is just a terrible Christmas song. But then I just don't play it.
Well, look, I've got here from Time Out magazine, which they ran a poll in October as far as the top 10 of favourite Christmas songs. So coming in at number 10, you've got Happy Christmas, War is Over by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And I must admit, I do like that one, actually.
And so this is Christmas. And what have you done?
Not much. Coming in at number 9, we have Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Yep,
Very
that's
nice.
good.
A classic.
Here's a firm favourite for people of a certain age. Do they know it's Christmas? Band Aid comes in at number 8. This was
Indeed.
quite a significant moment for many people of my age, that's for sure. We remember when all this was happening with raising money for Ethiopia, and that was quite a thing. Now, here's one that I do know this song, but you don't hear it very often. Number 7, Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses.
I've never heard of this song in my life. I
think you have done it. I think it's one of those that comes up every now and then. It's it's. I think it is a bit of an earworm actually when you hear it, but it's certainly not. It's not. It doesn't fill the heart with glee, I would say.
Okay, moving on then.
Now I know you like this one. At number 6, Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues and Kirsty McCall.
Very nice. You know the history behind that song. I understand that a chap called Elvis Costello challenged Shane MacGowan to say, you can't write a decent Christmas song. It can't be done. And, well, I think he proved him wrong, didn't he?
He proved him very wrong, yes. So that's one that gets everybody singing. Now here we have an absolute classic. We're into the top 5 now. White Christmas by Bing Crosby.
Oh, yes. You see, the classics, the oldies, they're often the best. They stand the test of time.
They do. They do. But there's something about Bing's voice. Oh, my goodness.
It's so nice.
It's absolutely beautiful. And if they show the White Christmas film, of course, over the holiday season, then that's one for snuggling up with a hot chocolate for sure.
Ooh, lovely.
Now, this one I was quite surprised at, actually. Number 4, Stay Another Day by East 17.
Yes. I remember this came out at a time when there was the run up to the who was going to get the Christmas number 1.
Yeah.
And it was up against, I forget completely, but it's not a particularly Christmassy theme song, but they have these beautiful bells in the song.
Yes.
Made it seem more Christmassy.
Yes, and I think it just because it came out at Christmas time, that people just automatically associate it with Christmas. But as you say, it's not a very Christmassy song.
Yeah, not
we're into the top 3.
Ooh!
Christmas, Baby Please Come Home by Darlene Love. Now, this is it's a Phil Spector song. He did there is a particular Phil Spector album, A Christmas Gift for You, which does have a lot of familiar ones. Why this one was chosen as number 3, I don't know, but again, it's another one of those that, if you heard it, go, oh yeah, I know this one. Okay, top 2. In second place, Last Christmas by Wham.
Oh, I love it for the video alone. No, when you hear the opening bars of that song, you just think you see snow, you see sea lips. Very nice. Yeah, and another fun fact. Apparently, first of all, when that song came out, it was actually called Last Summer, and it was actually about a summer romance. But for some reason, some producer changed it up, and I think it was probably again the time of the year, and they kind of reworded it a little bit to be Last Christmas, and there you have your number 1.
Well, it's certainly an earworm, that's for sure. I mean, you play that and that's it. You're singing it for the rest of the day until another Christmas song comes on. So number 1. Can you guess what number 1 is?
Oh my God, there could be so many. It's beginning to, no, it's probably, I was going to say it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but it's probably going to be your man William's Most Wonderful Time of the Year.
No. Although I would choose that because I love the Andy Williams Christmas album. But no, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I like it, but it's not one of my top favourites.
It's not. No,
Sorry,
it's
Mariah.
not. No. But I would have chosen Andy Williams. There's something about the whole of the Andy Williams Christmas album. For me, yes, it's nostalgia. It's I don't even care if it's snowing outside. Then and anybody who knows me knows I hate the bloody snow. If it's snowing outside and I've got Andy Williams on, then I'm happy.
I must tell you, I have the same feelings about Mr. Bublé. So his Christmas album, it's just so adorable and really just warms the old cockles, as they say.
Yeah, but as you say, he's kind of Mr. Christmas these days, isn't he?
He is a little bit. He's kind of, you had Bing Crosby, you had Nat King Cole, and he's the crooner of the day, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And we love him. Michael, if you're watching, call us or call me.
Yeah. Okay.
I want them all to myself.
Well, that's fine. I would say I'd take Andy Williams, but he's no longer with us. So
Joe, no.
Good idea. But people out there, have you got a favourite Christmas tune? So do tell us. We would love to hear what you love at Christmas time. Eddie says he loves Christmas music. Renee says hi Renee, lovely to have you with us. What is your favourite Christmas tune? We would love to know. Now, something that has been going on this week, which has been very exciting, is the lovely Christine from Maastricht, who is on a weekly basis giving us an update of what's going on in the city and things to do. Well, of course, there isn't much to do at the moment because a lot of things have closed down, but she's got up to something very exciting and she's going to tell us all about it right now.
Ooh.
Hello, it's Christina from the Maastricht. I'm feeling so lucky because I'm in beautiful Lisbon on this amazing day, and I am here because yesterday was our first concert with Andre and Li in 20 months. I believe it's 20 months and 20 days. And I made a very small, slightly incoherent video for you. I'm backstage in Lisbon for the first concert in 20 months. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe this is happening. Everyone was so excited. The atmosphere was amazing. Of course, we had full tests before coming, corona regulations, masks, and I think nobody was quite sure if we would make it or not, but we did. And the audience was wearing masks the whole time, which is something to get used to because you miss some of the excitement, but it was incredible, so fantastic that we could perform finally. It was almost like we never left. So even my box from my flight case was exactly how I left it. Still had all the things, my jewelry and some makeup and everything, although some makeup may be better to throw away after 20 months, but and yeah, just so great to be back. For non-performers, I hope you can understand how difficult it has been for us during this time. So, and we're so happy to be back, giving some joy to everybody and to us. Yeah. That's all I have today. Obviously, very sadly, a lot of events have been cancelled again, but we hope for the future and we hope that everything's going to pick up soon. Okay, bye.
Oh, lovely, Christina. And how exciting for her. Back singing with Andre and Li and in Lisbon.
I know, very cool. Lisbon, by the way, great city as well. So fabulous.
It is a great city, but yeah, we're also chuffed for her. And on top of that, it's her birthday today as well.
Yes,
so.
I saw that. Happy birthday, Christina. Many happy returns.
Big happy birthday from us. So yeah, they're out there performing, but as we were saying before, there's not much going on out and about. But I have found a couple of things that that Christina would have mentioned if she wasn't out gallivanting around the globe, of course. At the Cultural Centrum in Larnaken on Saturday the 11th, they've got a Queen tribute band that are supposed to be playing. Now, there's one thing I must say up front, do check everywhere before you go, just to make sure that these things are actually happening. At the moment on their Facebook page, it says, yes, it's happening, but yeah, these things are changing. It's a fluid situation. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's worth going to. I have been to a Queen tribute myself a few years ago and burst into tears like a baby. He was so good. Yes, he was so good. I was just like, oh my God, it's Freddie. And I just got all a bit silly. Now, here's something that our Tracey would get a bit silly over. Johnny Cash.
Yes, I do love Johnny Cash.
You do love Johnny Cash. And there is a Johnny Cash tribute
there
next
is.
Wednesday.
On the 8th of December. Yes.
Yes, at the Music Gatorade.
Yes. The thing is, yeah, I really do hope it will and can go ahead, because it's just so, I find it very confusing, you know, nothing after 5 and nothing after 8 and then this and then that. But that was actually on my list to go to, but we're reluctant to book tickets in case it does, I don't know, seem to get cancelled, or if there's some sort of change of plan. But this particular band, this tribute band, are actually world famous, and apparently they are very, very good. So maybe we'll kind of go along on the night and just, I don't know, because you probably have to book in advance. Again, I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
But this is a very cool thing that's coming on indeed. Yeah.
And on Saturday, there is a Bracantian antique market in Valkenburg. So again, watch yourselves, keep safe, check before you go to make sure it's happening. So that there's a few things that are still happening out and about around the city or in the surrounding areas, but do check beforehand to make sure they're going on. But if you're not going to go out, if you're not going to go and see what's happening outside of your door, then maybe you want to stay in with a good book.
Well, it was a pretty cheesy segue, but I think you did a good job under the circumstances. It was difficult otherwise, wasn't it? Indeed, a good book. Wait. Book of the week. 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 Book of the week.
Love it. Yes, it's Book of the Week.
It is, in case you didn't realise. Book of the week. Oh gosh.
Yeah, but it was so subtle. Book of the Week, of course, coming to us from the English bookstore in Maastricht. And well, they've come up an absolute treat this week because we've got 2 books on offer this week. Oh, I know. 2 for the price of 1, as it were. But they're both, well, one of them definitely is very Christmassy. So we're going with Charles Dickens this week.
Oh, how lovely. Very nice.
If you like it, if you've never tried Charles Dickens, well, this is actually a good one to start with. A Christmas Carol. 'Tis the season to read Charles Dickens.
'Tis indeed.
It is a classic story that many of you will know anyway, even if you haven't read the book. Bah, humbug. But it's quite a short story, and it's a good introduction to Dickens. It's a good way to start. Sorry, Tracey, it looked like you were about to say something.
I was about to say something, but I shall say it after the segment.
Fair enough. So anyway,
Right.
It's a story
Very
about
nice.
Ebenezer Scrooge, a self-centered man who is taught the meaning of Christmas by 3 ghosts on Christmas Eve. It's a wonderful blend of traditional holiday themes and just a touch of spookiness.
There is a touch of spookiness indeed in this one.
Yes.
Very nice book. And if you know, there's also so many film adaptations. There's one with Michael Caine, actually, I think, is in one of them. It's a very nice version. But yeah, check it out.
And there's the Muppet version, of course.
And there's also
which is a firm favourite for many people.
I cried with the Tiny Tim at the end.
Okay, here we go. See?
Go, move on, Joe. It's too much.
There's Shakespearean actors out there who've done Scrooge, and she's crying at the Muppets. I mean, there's no hope. There's no hope. But listen, if you're saying bar humbug to Christmas, but you still fancy dipping into a bit of Dickens, you can have a go at A Tale of Two Cities, one of the more popular stories. It's a historical novel set during the French Revolution with varied quirky characters, and one of the favourites is a flawed hero who deals with themes of injustice, revolution, redemption, of course, still very popular and very important today. So Kirsty from the English Bookshop says she knows a few non-readers who have loved this book for its epic story and also for the prestige of having read Dickens.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's a firm recommendation from Kirsty at the English Bookstore. So you've got A Christmas Carol or A Tale of Two Cities. Now, I have to tell, just before I finish this, I have to tell you, when I was about 12, 13, one of the best presents I ever had was a set of classics from my mum for my birthday, which included most of the Dickens. I absolutely ate them all up. I absolutely adored it. Absolutely adored it. So yes, good characters, strong characters, good stories. Highly recommend it. And that's it. This is where I'm supposed to drop the mic, apparently.
But apparently, yes, you're going to walk off and, look all cool and kind of do some moves. Very nice. So two lovely recommendations and particularly fitting for this time of year, a spot of Dickens, What I wanted to say, Joe, is I'm terribly sorry to tell you this, but I've checked the Music Gitarai website, and the Johnny Cash Roast Show of December 8th has already been postponed until March 10th of next year. Unfortunately, anybody who might be going to the Music Gitarai, the Ultimate Eagles is also moved to next year. The Pink Floyd tribute band is next year. So the Doors Alive is also next year. So please check the website. And if you've already bought tickets, I suspect they will just transfer to the next one. But so that's my December take.
They haven't updated their Facebook page then. That's all.
Okay.
So check the website.
This is why I don't do Facebook, people. Check the website. Much more reliable.
A lesson from Tracey. See?
Yes, indeed.
Renee's telling us he loves an Elvis Presley Christmas song.
Oh, nice choice. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Who doesn't love Elvis Presley all year round? I've quite a crush on Elvis, actually.
Do you really?
I do. But very nice. Yeah. Also a good choice for the holidays.
Yeah.
For sure.
We love it. We like it. We like it a lot. So coming up in the rest of the show, we have the lovely Amruta and Li, who are going to be joining us separately from their own homes. They're both going to be on the same call, but they're going to be separate in their own homes because they're staying safe. But they're going to be coming to have a chat with us about girl. I've got to get it the right way around. Girl Gone International.
Yes, Girl Gone.
I want to say Gone Girl.
No, Girl Gone. You did this
That's another book.
Yeah,
This is another book.
It's a whole other story and a movie. Moving on. Oh gosh.
It's a movie. Yeah, there's going to be people out there way younger than me going, what are they doing? What are they doing? But
charades, people. I think in the Netherlands they call it hints.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, I do like a spot of charades or charades.
I haven't played that for a long time.
Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. It can get quite competitive, actually.
But this is quite a Christmassy thing as well, isn't it? These are the sort of games that they play at Christmas time.
And it's a very socially distanced game as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes.
If you think about it, you can all be separated and you stand up and do your bit. And you So, another top tip.
Oh, there you go. Oh. So stripping.
Well, that's a whole.
But that's not very Christmassy.
No, not bit nippy, Joe.
As soon as you said you get up and do your bit, I was just like, stripping. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, no, right, okay.
That's where your mind is. Mind out of the gutter, dear. Goodness.
I'm sorry. Okay, well, I think it's probably time that we slow things down a little bit here. Let's cool down, put our feet up, and enjoy a nice glass of wine. Relax as we come to the end of the day. Slow down because it is time for This Day in History.
I was channeling my Ebenezer Scrooge and the Three Ghosts.
Ghost of Christmas Past, I reckon. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you nailed it because I got it straight away. Those acting lessons are paying off, you see.
I tell you.
So, as we mentioned, we're in December. It is the 2nd of December already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. No, don't dwell on it. But on this day, in 1620, the first English language newspaper, Naamloos, begins publishing in Amsterdam.
Ooh.
In 1620. I was really surprised about that. Yeah.
Wonder, is it still going, I wonder?
Oh, well, I know who's going to try and find out.
I'm Googling as we speak.
You go and Google, and I'll carry on. In 1697, on this very day, St Paul's Cathedral, designed by Sir Christopher Wren, is consecrated for use. The previous building was destroyed in the Great Fire of London. In 1802, on this very day, Britain sells Suriname to the Netherlands.
Oh,
I don't know how much they sold it for, but
I don't know.
Netherlands has still got it.
Well,
as it
yeah.
were. So they must be quite happy with it. A couple of years later, in 1804, General Napoleon Bonaparte is crowned Emperor of the French at the Notre Dame de Paris in a ceremony officiated by Pope Pius, yeah, the 7th. That Pope,
Right.
yes.
Right. Okay. One of the popes.
But, oh mon Dieu. 1901, King C. Gillette begins selling safety razor blades.
Oh, the best a man can get.
Good. Yeah,
Oh, but they're around a long time.
they
These
have been around a long
razors.
time. Yeah,
Ah.
1901.
Good lord.
From a man called King.
Well, yeah. Fair enough.
But, do you know, I think some parents, they name their kids those kind of names because they think that's quite a grand name and they're going to go on to be successful. I can't imagine when that kid was born and they went, oh yeah, we're going to name him King, he's going to do really well, that he was actually going to go on and be successful in safety razor blades.
Well, there you go.
But
I
as
guess
you say,
so.
he's still going. In 1908, on this very day, child Emperor Pu Yi ascends the Chinese throne at the age of 2.
Wow, that's quite young, isn't it?
That's yes.
Should
yes.
barely hold his own head up, but he's king on the
I
throne.
mean, yeah. 1929, the first skull of a Peking man was found in the caves of Zukudian, 50 kilometers outside of Peking in China, later dated roughly 750,000 years old. That's a very old skull.
It is.
And you'll find out later on, this is also a good day for paleanthropologism. Oh.
Well done. Well done. Did you practice that all day? Oh my God.
Since about 9 o'clock this morning. But we've got more paleanthropologism coming up later. Oh my God, I've done it twice.
Well done.
1952, on this very day, the first human birth is televised to the public in Colorado, Denver. I mean, yeah, they thought that was primetime TV in 1952, but there you go. In 1958, Benelux Treaty is signed by Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Now, here we go. In 1960, the The paleoanthropologist Louis Leakey discovers a 1.4 million year old Homo erectus
I see.
in Olduvai Gorge, Tanzania.
Wow.
It blows my mind how they can date these things. It really does. I mean, it's just astonishing. Really, it's so clever. So clever.
Very, very clever.
Much cleverer than you and me, Tracey, that's for sure. 1963, the first Dutch rocket is launched, reaches a height of 10 kilometres. And the following year, in 1964, breaking news, Ringo Starr had his tonsils removed. You're impressed, I can tell.
I'm highly impressed indeed. Yeah, I guess the
Okay,
Beatles are quite big, so I suppose maybe any snippet of news was interesting.
For our younger viewers, that Ringo Starr was the drummer of the Beatles, and
He
this
was.
is where they then turn to the person next to them and go, who are the Beatles?
Beatles.
In 1981, the Spanish government requests the membership of NATO, and the following year, in 1982, on this very day, the first permanent artificial heart was successfully implanted in Utah. I think it was implanted in a person.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah. You're not in Utah State. No, that would be very odd. Yeah, okay. So in a person in Utah.
There you go. In 1990, on this very day, it was the first time 12 people were in space at the same time.
Ooh.
It wasn't me.
Time. No.
It wasn't me. But also that very same year, the first parliamentary election in newly reunified Germany went ahead. Now, 2013 on this day, the second film in the Hobbit series, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, directed by Peter Jackson, was premiered. Right, I have to ask you, Tracey, have you read any of these books?
I have. And seen movies.
And you've seen the movies?
Yeah.
How have you done that? Because all of it, well, I think The Hobbit. I think The Hobbit actually is a bit shorter than The
Hobbit
Lord
is
of the
shorter
Rings.
than Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is a doorstop of a book. Yes, it is quite heavy going, and there's a lot of stuff. You know, the lands, Mordor here and hobbits in there and blah 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 blah. But it is worth it. But you can always watch the movies, although the movies are also quite long. So it's kind of you've got a full day. You could probably get through them. But it's nice. But The Hobbit itself is actually quite a thin book.
Yes.
So that's doable. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a fan. Fair enough. That's good. In 2020, on this very day, the US Attorney General William Barr says there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election, despite claims by President Donald Trump. And also, on this day last year, the UK becomes the first Western country to authorise a vaccine for COVID-19. Right, let's have a look at some birthdays. On this very day, in 1946, Giovanni Versace was born, the Italian fashion designer. 1968, Lucy Liu, the American actress, was born in Jackson Heights, Queens, New York. 1973, the Yugoslavian-American tennis player Monica Seles, 9-time Grand Slam champion, was born in Serbia. 1978, Nelly Furtado, the Canadian singer and songwriter, was born in Victoria, British Columbia. And finally, in 1981, oops, I did it again. Britney Spears, the American pop star, was born on this very day in Macomb, Mississippi. And a even bigger shout out to Britney, because Britney is free. She's free. She's free. Thank goodness that's all over. So happy birthday. I bet she's celebrating an even bigger birthday today.
A free birthday, so to speak.
Oh my goodness. And happy birthday to anybody else out there who's celebrating a birthday today. Hope you're having a lovely time. And that was this day in history. Thank you.
Very nice, darling. Very nice.
Yes, I'm very pleased with Britney, actually. And I think that was...
it was great. I mean, I watched they made a documentary about this and all that ownership thing and whatever it is. Quite heavy watching, to be honest with you.
Yes.
But yes, indeed, I understand that she's now kind of regained control, if you like. Yes. Conservative. She's been out shopping. She's been, doing daily kind of day-to-day life things, and so good for her.
Yes. Good. Excellent. Well, coming up shortly, we have got Amruta and Li from Girl Gone International.
Yes, well done, dear. I know it's tempting.
It is. But before we get there, I think it's time we had a bit of news. What do you think, Tracey?
Yes, with trepidation. It's not great news again, I'm afraid, but it's news and here it comes.
What about if you sing it?
No, maybe that would be a very happy theme, you know. Yeah. Maybe for next week, I'll prepare.
Tracey Taylor with news.
Thank you, Joe, and good evening, everyone. It's December 2nd, and you're watching the Maastricht edition on Facebook Live. First, a look at your weekend weather, and Friday will remain cold and cloudy with highs of 4. There is some rain and even sleet expected on Saturday with highs of 8. Sunday should be the brightest of the coming days, however, with the chance of some sunnier spells. Moving to your bulletin for tonight and a roundup of local and domestic news. Almost all of Europe is now red or dark red on the coronavirus map. For the Netherlands, it's the 3rd week in a row of being flagged dark red. Here in Limburg, the numbers are of particular concern, with 1 in every 38 people having been infected with COVID-19 over the past fortnight. As of today, 605 people are being treated for the coronavirus in intensive care units around the country, with another 12 ICU patients from the Netherlands in German hospitals. Most of the passengers who tested positive for coronavirus after flying into the Netherlands from South Africa last Friday have been allowed to leave their quarantine hotel. A total of 61 people tested positive after arriving from Cape Town and Johannesburg, just hours after the Dutch government tightened travel restrictions in response to the emergence of the Omicron variant. Dutch department store Hema has issued a warning around its own brand baby wipes, which may be contaminated with bacteria and could lead to lung problems in people with a lowered resistance. The baby wipes in question have articles number 11.33.5160 and 11.33.5162. People who have bought these wipes are asked not to use them, but to return them to the store. A receipt is not necessary. The Doctors' Federation in the Netherlands, KNMG, has taken a broader position on euthanasia when it concerns people with dementia. Under the new guideline, doctors can grant a request for euthanasia from people with dementia who submitted a written request to end their life when they were still lucid, but with whom discussion about this is no longer possible. During a joint police action between Belgium and the Netherlands, searches were conducted in Limburg yesterday, resulting in 13 arrests. A further 8 arrests were made in Belgium. The operation focused on a criminal organisation that is active in both countries and is engaged in the production of illegal cigarettes, the cultivation of cannabis, and the production of synthetic drugs. Here in Maastricht and the Tongerseweg-Javestraat intersection will be partially open to traffic again as of Monday. The part of the Tongerseweg that goes up to the Belgian border will still remain closed in December, however. And as of December 12th, Arriva Nederland will be implementing some changes to its bus services, with some lines operating less frequently and others not following their usual route. Please do check the Arriva website for full details to see which bus routes are impacted. Restaurant Beluga Loves You at Klein 1992 has climbed 21 places in the Lekker Top 500 to claim spot number 15. Chateauneuf Khan is the second Maastricht restaurant on the list and comes in at number 80. Restaurant Brut in Reimerstok by former Beluga chef Hans van Wolde enters the Lekker Top 500 as a newcomer and claims an impressive 4th place. And finally tonight, The Hague, Rotterdam, Amsterdam and Maastricht all feature in the Internations 2021 ranking for the top 57 cities around the world, according to expats. Maastricht did come in quite low on the list, however, claiming 50th place, with feedback indicating that locals are unfriendly and that it is extremely difficult to make friends here. The top 3 cities in the world, according to expats, are Kuala Lumpur, Malaga and Dubai. The worst city overall is apparently Rome. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you're a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limburg Facebook page, a joint initiative between #Maastricht and the Maastricht Edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, Maastrichter.com. If a historical walking tour is more your thing, check out Meet Maastricht, the key to your city. And finally, don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on YouTube, on Redbubble, and on Instagram. For all the details, check out the maastrichtedition.nl.
Lovely jubbly. Well done, our Tracey. Very nicely done. Well, we've managed to make loads of friends here in the city, no problem.
I don't know. I've got no friends at all. No, but it's indeed. I didn't read the full report, but some of the remarks that came back why Maastricht didn't fare as high as, for example, Rotterdam or The Hague, is indeed that people found it quite hard to integrate in some ways. But yes, I mean this is the review. But I believe the full Internations ranking is available online in more detail, and you can check out why each city received the scoring that they received, and indeed the pluses and the minuses. But there you are. Poor old Maastricht. You know, but 50 out of 57 is, I mean,
well,
it's not.
What you need
not
to
bad.
do, of course, if you want to make friends, is to join a group.
Indeed, I guess that's true.
And I know a very good group that you could join, actually.
Oh, well done, dear. Again,
And Amruta, who's with
you
us this evening.
Hello,
Join. Hello, Amruta. And coming up the rear there is Li as well. She's loitering in the wings there. I can see her sort of hanging around. She's going to join us in a second.
Bum, drum roll, please.
Come on, Lee. We sort of can see you.
Such fun.
Oh, nearly. There we go.
Yeah,
there she is. Hello, girlies. How are you?
We are doing good. Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
And Lee, I have to say,
for the
lovely.
first time, yeah.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I was late earlier, as usual. But here I am.
Here she is, in all her loveliness. But Lee, I have to say, what a fantastic Christmas sweater you've got on there.
Thank you.
Very
to get in the mood for Christmas.
Yes.
She's all prepared.
Christmas.
Tracey and I have come in our very conservative, moody black, just to sort of give you an idea of what we think of Christmas. But no, it's good, Lee, that you've come in a Christmas jumper. This is good.
Thank you.
Of course, you lovely ladies are joining us this evening to talk about Girl Gone International. I got it right. Yes.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
Well, you know, the problem is the book, isn't it? And I'm sure people get the girl gone girl thing round the wrong way all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were mix-ups in that.
So it's a lot easier to
all
say.
The time.
It's a lot easier to say GGI, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Safer.
Perfect. Yeah.
But before we find out more about GGI, let's find out a little bit more about you two lovely ladies. My suspicion is that neither of you are from this part of the world, listening to the accents that we've got here as well. So Amruta, why don't you start us off and tell us about your heritage? Where do you come from and how did you end up in Maastricht?
Yeah, so hello everyone, I'm Amruta. And I'm from India. To be specific, I'm from the middle region of India, from Maharashtra. And here I am because of my husband. He has relocated here and for work purposes. So I'm here with my daughter. My daughter is now 2 years old. And yeah, I am not at all from Europe or anywhere near. Far from Asia. So, and I'm loving here. I am loving Maastricht and apart from the cold winters.
Yeah. But I can imagine from a cultural perspective, you're finding it very, very different.
Yeah. So last year we were, it was a little difficult to adjust, but now it's going like we know what to expect. So yeah, we are going through.
Fantastic. And Lee, what about yourself?
Yeah. So I have a bit of a mixed background. So I was actually born in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia.
Wow.
And I kind of grew up in Australia. So I spent most of my time in Australia and now I'm working and living in Netherlands. So yeah, I moved here 3.5 years ago.
Oh.
And did you come here to study?
To work, yeah. I got this job offer 3.5 years ago, and yeah, just came here, you know, without friends or anything. Just thought I'd just have a big change of scenery and lifestyle. So yeah, it's been awesome so far. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Kuala Lumpur, yeah. Again, I mean, this is going to be a big change. Kuala Lumpur to Australia, and then Australia to here. There's a big cultural mix going on there.
Yeah, I'm suffering from like an identity crisis at the moment, you know. So I'm like, yeah, it's been really interesting so far. Like, you know, with the Dutch culture and language and the lifestyle, the society, and the way they behave, or you know, all these little things. But yeah, I'm sure you guys know all about that.
Indeed, yeah. Well, yeah, we're also, neither of us are from the Netherlands either. So I mean, we're all here together in the same type of boat, really, right? So
yeah.
It does kind of highlight the importance of a group like GGI, I think, where expats can come together, share their experience of what it's like to live in another country. And I mean, even if you just cross a border from Netherlands to Germany, there's still a lot of differences. But add completely different cultures, like an Asian culture into a European culture, and that can just throw people completely. So tell us about GGI and why it's been so important for you.
Yeah, so GGI is fun actually. I mean, ever since I've joined, I see connection and there's friendship, moreover, women empowerment and happiness to women and non-binary people from different parts of the world. So I see a lot of variety of women living across the borders. Even they are willing to join GGI Maastricht, and we have, I think, 160 local communities, I believe.
Wow.
From all over the world. And we do a lot of events together, like more than 4,000 events per year. Because of COVID, we have reduced, but we have a lot of online events going on. Yeah.
Li, maybe you could give us an idea of the sort of events that you would normally have within the group.
Yeah, so the past year we've had, with the COVID and everything, we've had a lot of online events. So I hosted a few cooking workshops actually, and we also had Secret Santa as well last year, and we had a few different
Halloween
events
as well.
Sorry,
Halloween event.
Nice.
Halloween events, and we did a few different online events, and it's just really nice to get everyone connected and to just chat about their lives, and it's just nice to connect all the girls from everywhere, and everyone seems very keen to just just reach out and talk to people, because I think it gets very isolating during this time.
Sure.
And I mean, there's 1,500 members on Maastricht GGI, so it's everyone's looking for friends, and it's just nice to do something together.
Absolutely, and especially like you say, with everything with COVID that's been going on the last 2 years, and now as we run into the kind of Christmas season where many people perhaps are not able to travel home to their home country and to visit family, it's going to be a little bit extra kind of tough, I guess. So these kinds of groups and chapters that you guys have here, it's definitely serving a purpose for the moment. I think these days that we have.
And we do have.
GGI was mentioned in the Dutch review that GGI is being considered as one of the great platform to make friendship, connection. So it was in the top 19 list of the Dutch review.
Wow, that's really impressive. Good for you guys.
Yeah,
indeed. And in fact, earlier in the news report, I read a piece about how the Internations released a ranking around the world for expats. In fact, Kuala Lumpur came top as the best expat city in the world, by the way, Li, just FYI. But apparently, poor old Maastricht came 50th out of 57 countries that were surveyed. And one of the remarks was that the reason why is that people found it quite hard to integrate and make friends here. So I would let those people know about groups like yourselves to perhaps help turn the balance there.
I think GGI has been really it's an open community as well for all the women, expat women, and not just women living in Maastricht, but also outside as well. Like there are some ladies who live in Eindhoven, but they want to come and visit Maastricht. We keep it open, but also to help each other as well. I think it's more like helping each other to integrate or to, find little things like where do we get help if we need accommodation, or, small little bureaucracy
the
things
business
that
and everything.
It's been really great.
As a mother, Amruta, do you find that it helps having a child to when it comes to integrating? Is it easier to maybe you got an excuse then, sort of like, oh, there's somebody else with a kid, we can like get our kids together and that starts up a conversation?
We had a couple of discussions with the other moms, and they were keen on getting some events for the kids and the moms, where we can the kids can have fun, and we can maybe have a drink at Mama Earth, and kids can play in the in playground. So yeah, with the kids it's easier. Or I leave her with my husband, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going with my girls, and then
Yeah, I think something that's quite important here is partners that have they've come to another country because their husband or wife has got a job or got a promotion, so they bring the whole family over. But the partner who hasn't got a job has then got to start their own network, haven't they? Because their husband or wife who's in the office or wherever it is that they're working, they have an instant network as with their work colleagues. But the wife or husband that's at home, who's trying to navigate around a new city and try and set up a network, that's got to be very difficult, I think.
Yeah. So with me, my husband, he has his friends from office, from different workplaces. But for me, it was difficult to make friends initially. But with GGI now, I have a lot of friends. I mean, I can say that, yeah, she's my friend from GGI. And it was not that difficult for me to get adjusted here. But it is indeed a good experience having to know so many ladies who have same experience as I am. So it's really great. I mean, being a GGI community manager has helped me a lot. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Imagine.
Yeah.
May I ask you, ladies, if somebody is moving to the city, or indeed if they're anywhere around the world and they would like to join the group, is there a sort of, I don't know, an intake process? Do they need to apply? How would it work to become a member?
So they can join the group, but there's like a kind of a list of questionnaires that they have to answer, like why do they want to join GGI? Where are they moving from? A bit of their background. So we do a bit of background checks as well, just to filter out, other people that try to join that are, men or, that are not. We've got a lot of strange profiles in the past. But
okay,
we have a very
that wasn't me. I'm just putting that out there. It wasn't me.
Joe, busted.
So anyone can join, really. Yeah,
but I guess then the easiest thing would be to advise people to check out your socials or your website, and then there's probably a whole section about how they would go about joining, I guess.
Yeah, you will find a small button where you can say join group, and there will be a request to us that she wants to join the group. And looking at the profile, then we can go and approve of her being a member. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's how. Yeah.
So in the coming year, then, as long as we are able to get out and about and actually socialise, what sort of events can people look forward to next year?
Well,
any events at all? What would normally be happening?
I think we usually have a list of events, but because of the COVID, we obviously had to cancel a lot of them. Usually we have bowling nights or movie nights, or we do drinks. Friday drinks is a common one. Yes, we do that maybe bi-weekly or once a month. And get all the ladies together. It's really fun, actually. And we have also a GGI Mamas meetup as well. And a GGI book club.
Wow.
Excellent.
Meeting. Yeah, we have a few different meetings. But it's variable. It's just
organize them. We are yet to put it in the calendar of hosting it. But maybe next year we will do it. For now, for this month, we have the Santa Claus event where ladies are doing everything, and we have to deliver gifts. And we were supposed to have it. Lee, it's better you tell it. That's your event.
Thanks, Amruta. So we're hosting the Secret Sinterklaas event. It was supposed to be in a restaurant, but obviously now we have to do it online. But basically, it's like a gift exchange. So there will be Secret Sinterklaas and delivering the gifts to the person, and we'll open up the gifts in the end. So like in the evening when we're just going online on Zoom, and we open it together and have some chit chats and so we're just doing this all online, but hopefully everyone will have their gifts delivered and it'll happen soon.
I think
it sounds like you're getting into the swing of Christmas.
It does. And thank goodness we have access to all of this technology in this day and age as well. My goodness, otherwise we'd be sending telegrams or letters or something. quite dramatic.
Exactly. Thank God for online bookings.
Yeah, sure. Well, speaking of online bookings, we'll get all your social details out on our social posts after the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, ladies, and let's hope that we're not doing the online thing for much longer, because I suspect there's a lot of ladies out there who have recently moved to the city that would really love to meet people face to face and have a few hugs and enjoy the shared experience of living in a new city. So as I said, we'll get those posts out, and anybody who wants to join, of course, as you said, can just go onto the website, fill in some details, and it'll all start with a Zoom call, I've no doubt. Well, next time that you do have definitely some big events happening, do let us know, and we'll get you back on the show again soon.
Thank you so much, Joe.
So much.
In the meantime, enjoy Christmas however you choose to spend it, and we look forward to see you again some other time. Thanks ever so much, ladies.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, how nice. Lovely. Very nice.
But these groups are so very important, I think, for people who are just moving to a new city.
For sure. And I mean, even maybe if you're just living in a city and you've been here a while, I mean, you don't have to have arrived yesterday. You might be here a month or two.
Yeah.
But definitely, if it's sounding like something you'd benefit from, why not reach out and maybe sign up and become a member? And
absolutely.
Very nice with the GGI.
The GGI. See, you're safe with GGI.
Yeah,
you're safe with GGI.
You are.
I'm not going to say it again. I'm just going to stick with GGI, otherwise I'll get it wrong. But if you did want to learn about the city, we know somebody who knows all about Maastricht, and that's the lovely Lucy from Meet Maastricht. We've got another little cultural talk for you coming up now, and she's going to be, I don't know, what she's going to be talking. Oh, yes, she's going to be talking about St. Savas.
Oh, but there you go.
Here's Lucy.
Very nice.
Hello there. For another 5 minutes or so of Maastricht history and heritage. I have to think of another name for this. Maybe you can come up with a better one. Anyway, 5 minutes about some object, very obvious in the city, that you all have seen, may pass on a daily basis, but also may not know a lot about. I am talking about the Church of St. Savas. Maastricht pretty much owes its continued existence to this guy, whether he existed or not. Sometimes historical facts are a bit hard to actually prove in the contemporary scientific sense. Sometimes a good story is enough, and then after that, everything that evolves from there is factual enough. Whether the bones in the grave are his, or the bones in the reliquary are his, or not at all. Anyway, let me begin at the beginning. Maastricht was not really Maastricht at all, really, yet. In Roman times, it was a military camp, and it defended the bridge. It was very handy to be able to cross the river there, because at times you could even do so without getting your feet wet. The water would be so low. And so the Romans thought it was a good idea in about the 3rd century to build a bridge, always easier with moving armies, also for traders, but of course also for the early missionaries of the Christian faith. All well and good. In about the 3rd, 4th century, things start getting a bit dangerous, and the bridge is being defended by something like fortifications. You can see a beautiful model of what that might have looked like in the newly furnished Centre Céramique, which now finally presents some of the magnificent heritage collections that it has in its otherwise inaccessible cellars. Some of it is now open for public view. Anyway, there's a defended place on the river, and the Bishop of Tongeren, a large Roman city at the time, thinks that's a safer place, so he moves. According to legend, that was Servaas. When he died here, he was buried along the Roman road, as was the custom at the time, and that must have been more or less part of the Vredhof now. And the grave is then singled out with a chapel on top, and then a church, and then an even larger church, and so on and so forth. So for 1700 plus years, there has been recognition of that spot. And pilgrims have been coming from the very beginning to acknowledge that spot and to ask Servaas for his intercession with Christ, with God, with the keepers of the heavenly gates. So he is often depicted as a bishop, which is what he was, carrying a key, the key to heavens, to heaven itself. Of course, these days, this magnificent complex of successive periods in history having constructed and contributed to this magnificent building is on view. You can visit every day. You can visit the treasure room. I highly recommend it. And please do realize that what you're looking at today is but a tiny figment of what it used to be. Servaas and churches like it used to be states unto themselves. They would wield temporal powers. They would have their people, they would have their lands, they would have their rules, and their government was constituted of so-called canons, the younger sons of powerful families who did not inherit the land, but who, of course, also needed to have and did acquire and were given positions of power and accompanying riches in society all the same. So it is these men of the church, and it is these pilgrims to the grave that have been a very important element of the city of Maastricht for centuries. This power of the church was pretty much broken by the French Revolution, which nationalized all their property and abolished all the religious orders. And of course, a new chapter started from there. But still, after 1700 years, Servaas is still a gorgeous church and a pilgrim's destination. Go and have a look.
Lovely. Thank you, Lucy.
Love you, Lucy.
Lovely, Lucy from Meet Maastricht. And of course, you, whenever you want to have a wander around the city and find out about all the history of the city, then get in touch with the team at Meet Maastricht, and they will give you a tour.
Yes,
So
I've actually, just to say, I've personally done a tour with Meet Maastricht with the lovely Lucy, and I tell you, for a very small fee, you really get your money's worth. And don't
Absolutely.
expect to be done in the allocated time. Oh no, the tour will run over because there's so much to learn, and Lucy has so much to share. So, but it's really, really a very cool event, whether you're living here 10 years, 1 year, or you just came yesterday. So definitely check them out.
There's something a bit odd. I've got a suspicion, although Lucy looks like a young girl, that she's actually about 1,254 years old. The amount of knowledge that she has about Maastricht is astonishing.
It's scary. Yeah, it is remarkable. I mean, she's a historian. This is her passion, and this comes out. But she's a very, very smart, intelligent lady, and so eloquent. It's really, I cannot recommend it highly enough.
Absolutely, I'm with you on that one, Tracey. Now, before we go, we need some titty bitties. Oh, and just one other thing for those new in the city. It's a Sinterklaas gift giving thing going on this weekend on the 5th. It sort of stretches from the 5th to the 6th of December, but the evening of the 5th is where there's a lot of gift things going on, and you would have seen in the shops a lot of these chocolate letters. Okay. Don't ask me why I've been given an S. I know it
stands for Sinterklaas.
Actually, it doesn't, but we'll go with that.
Right. Well, that's what it could stand for.
It could stand for. There's a story here. I'm not going to go into it, but yes, we'll go with Sinterklaas for that one. Nice. Yes, a kind of a save there, Tracey. But yes, this is a traditional gift that you would give on Sunday, when it's the 5th. So go out there, get yourself one of those, and hand it over to all the kids on Friday, and they'll love you for it.
And obviously the tradition is that you buy the letter, which is the first name of the person you're giving it to. And that's a lovely one from the Rousseau chocolate shop, which is quite a fancy Sinterklaas letter. If you have a less high budget, you can also pop by Hema, for example. They sell them. The Kraut have them. Albert Heijn have them. You can find them. You can't miss them. They are everywhere.
I have to say, I don't care what letter it is. If it comes from Rousseau, I'm quite happy. So.
It's mighty good chocolate, indeed.
Absolutely. Right, Trace, let's have some titty bitties before we go.
Yes, indeed. Well, staying with the Christmassy theme and food, very sadly, in the past week since I've seen you, Dave and I had to cancel our planned trip to Ireland. So we are not getting on a plane. We are not going home. It'll, what's 2 years? I'll just wait a few 4 months, hopefully, to see family. However, in an effort to cheer myself up, I decided I was going to have to order in some Christmassy goodies just to make it feel a little bit like home.
Good idea.
So for those of you like me who perhaps are not traveling home this Christmas, and if you're from the US or from England or from Ireland, and there's some little Christmassy bits you might miss, like Cadbury's chocolate roses or mince pies, this kind of thing, please do check out Kelly's Expat Shopping. They're based up north in The Hague, and they offer a lot of Christmassy goodies right now. Biscuits, chocolates, all these types of lovely things. Have a look, make a little shopping bag, and they'll send it to you. The delivery is quite quick, within 2 or 3 days, depending when you order, and everything arrives beautifully packed and very safely packed. And honestly, it was definitely a lift. So when I've got my Cadbury's roses saved in the cupboard and stuff. I already ate the curly worms, so, but okay. But if you are looking for some treats from home, this is definitely a place to check out. And it's here in Netherlands, so it's not coming from abroad, so you don't have to worry about import taxes or God knows. So check that out. Staying with the Christmas theme, the Christmas markets have indeed opened. So there was discussion that they would not. Now, I'm going to stay local because probably most people are not going to be traveling too far away at the moment. So the closest ones to us right now would be in Belgium. There's one in Hasselt, and there's also one in Liège. These are both open. You could check those out. There's also one in Aachen, across the border in Germany, which is my personal favorite. So I'm not sure how good it is this year, but it really is very lovely. And of course, we've got the famous one in Valkenburg, which is also in the underground caves. And the one in Maastricht opened, I think it was today, in fact. So they have put the Winter Wonderland on the Fright Off. I've passed by, they've got the Ferris wheel, and it's quite modest now, but there is something going on. So if you really feel a need for a glue wine or something, you can check it out and see. And the last one, and I'm mentioning it now because people have time to book their online tickets, our friends at the Expat Centre Maastricht region are having an end-of-year online party.
Yay!
It's on Wednesday, the 22nd of December, so you have plenty of time to register. It's from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I mean, it might run a bit longer, but it's generally, this is the plan. They offer very nice online programming, including exclusive highlights from the classic opera Romeo and Juliet as performed by Opera Zoud. There's also a special screening of an award-winning short movie that's been shot on location right here in Maastricht, but it's top secret. You'll have to register to find out what it is. If you want to go and if you want to just join for an hour of fun from home, you can register via the link in their bio, as they say, Expat Centre Maastrichtregion.nl. Otherwise, check out the website and you'll receive a confirmation of your registration via email. And a few days prior to the event, you'll receive a reminder email containing the Zoom link. All hail Zoom. So there you go. I mention it now so you can still get in there and register, and that might be kind of a fun thing to do on a Wednesday evening. Maybe have a glass of wine or something while you're tuning in and watching the fun.
Excellent. Oh, what a great idea.
There you go. Yes, go. Excellent. That's, of course, the lovely Sam and Marcel and Petra and all the great team down there. And I mean, they do so much all year round, and it's nice that they're doing something online, and you know, let's embrace it.
Excellent. Well, we have so run over time here, so we are gonna have to trot off. But look, there's some ideas for you. As always, stay safe. You know, check out wherever it is that you're going, what the rules and regulations are before you get there, and just take care. Be careful. Do as much shopping online with your favorite shops. You know, there's so many shops in Maastricht who have got an online presence, so you know, take advantage of their home delivery. The same with the restaurants and cafes in town. You know, there's a lot of them that are doing home delivery, so do take advantage of that if you can. We shall be back next week. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy Sinterklaas. Enjoy your weekend. Let's hope the weather's going to perk up a little bit. That would be nice. And we shall see you next Thursday. Thank you ever so much for joining us, and we'll see you then. Take care now.
Thanks for watching. Bye guys. Happy Sinterklaas.